Welcome to The Intentional Way, where literally every moment is a step towards purposeful living. I'm Bryan Hatch, here to explore the power of intention with you. Learn from our guests who embody intentionality. I'm glad you're here with me. Let's get started. Welcome everybody to another episode of The Intentional Way. And as always, I'm excited to be interviewing somebody special that I've met or that I've encountered in some way, shape, or form. And today is no different. And I think that it will be a really exciting episode. Damian Boudreaux is somebody that I'm really excited about. I met him through some event work that we were doing together. And literally, some of the things he's said to me has changed my life. So Damian Boudreaux is our guest, and you can look him up on the internets and you can find his cool, beautiful face and all the cool things. He's an author, speaker, trainer. He teaches salespeople how to sell cars, which I think just blew my mind when I learned that about him, because it feels like he does so many other things that have to do with our relationships. And so today, Damian, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Bryan. I was so excited when you reached out. I love you very much, and you are a special human. It was a great time we had together those 8 years or so.
So I want to start today a little differently than I usually do, and I want to share a very brief story about Damian. I just think that it would introduce you in a way that you could understand how I see him, and then we can dive into all the cool things that he says. And here's one thing. I was running some events, backstage marketing, cool stuff, trying to fill a room of 1,000. We wanted to have 1,000 people in seats. And at this specific event, we were working with some big speakers, big names, really great people to work with. And Damian and I were kind of the back of house, different roles, responsibilities, but I was in charge of this one. And I was pretty stressed out because we kept removing seats and there were fewer people that were showing up. We had an attendance of, we were supposed to have a lot of people. And then as the day went on, as we were checking in and getting people registered, fewer and fewer people were showing up from the list that we thought were going to show up. And so it was stressful. I was about in tears. I mean, it was like ripping my heart out every time I was moving chairs out of the ballroom, spreading chairs out and getting it going. This was the first time we did this specific event, so it was the first go. But I remember as I was stressed to the max, I mean, as far stressed as I could possibly be in this time, we had people in the seats and I was kind of backstage looking out and looking at people as people were sitting and the speakers were talking. And Damian came up to me and he looked me in the eye. And then he said so softly in my ear, he said, "Bryan, the only people that matter are the ones that are here in the room. All the ones that didn't show, all the ones that couldn't do this or couldn't make it or whatever the reason, they don't matter now." And it's not that he wasn't saying that they don't matter as a human being or as a person, but they don't matter as far as the stress goes of this event anymore. The people here, we need to make an awesome event for them. And that really helped me change and turn the perspective on how I just was at that specific time, that event. And so I hope that'll give you some insight on just who this person is. So Damian, tell us a little about yourself. There's a lot of people that I know that don't know you, and I'd love them to learn a little more about you. So tell them more that I haven't shared about you. It would be useful.
Well, there's a backstory to that belief system, right?
Okay.
So
let's go.
I was very successful in the auto industry in the belief that salespeople should not wait on anybody who doesn't already know them, like them, or trust them. So if they're not walking in saying, "Bryan, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, man." And so the showroom floor did not begin at the dealership. It began at the children's basketball game, for example, or the grocery store, the high school, right? And so I was going to, after a while, say, you know what? I'm going to go teach this. I'm going to do seminars. I'm going to be Jackie Cooper, Grant Cardone, Joe Verdi, the speakers in our industry, right? And I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell tickets. I'm going to bring people from all dealerships. And the first seminar I ever did was in Atlanta, Georgia. And I went out and I sold tickets, and man, I was struggling and it was tough. And I had my nose broken and it was tough. I mean, it was bad. And I had about 40 people were supposed to show up at this event. And I had a guy recording it because we have to get this down. It's the first seminar. What I'm saying is not talked about in the car business, right? They talk about waiting on the next person and using word tracks and all kind of stuff. So I'm there, the guy who records there, and the audience gets there. And at my first seminar, there was 3 people. Me, the
Oh, man.
recorder, and the attendee. And I told the attendee, I said, you hit the lottery. We're going back to your dealership. And we're going to do this seminar at your dealership. And we might sell 2 cars, or we might not sell any cars. We might sell 5 cars. But we were there for 7 hours and we sold 3 cars. He had never sold 3 cars in his life. And it was easy and it was simple and it was profitable. And I said, that's how you do the car business. And so the only person that mattered is not the 39 that didn't show. It's the one,
Mhm.
because the power is in the one. And the impact that you make when you're present and you're just there with that fellow earthling is all that matters. Nobody else matters in that moment in time except the earthling that's in front of you, and how well we're attentive to them and try to understand them for their motives, right?
Mm.
And put them in a position where they can win. So that's where that moment came from, right? It was born in experience.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of those over my years. I've not been afraid to fail. I've not been afraid to jump off mountains. I am happy to fall on my face. And in the attempt to help, in the attempt to serve full blast. Right.
Okay, then how did you learn how to fall on your face with a smile on your face?
I lost
That doesn't seem
everything.
very natural,
I
at least
died.
in today's day and age.
Got to die. Got to lose it all. You know,
Okay.
got to.
Did you lose it all, Damien?
Oh yeah, I call it the magical misery tour. It was 9 years.
Mm.
And you have children, right, Bryan? You have your
I do
beautiful
have
children. You
children.
love it. The first one comes out, ready, let's go. We're having our first one, breathe, exhale, and it comes out and she screams and you go, oh my God. And that little thing looks up at you and he says, life will never be the same for your ass. Oh my God. And it changes in that minute. You change, it changes, life changes, commitment changes, everything changes, right? And then the
Yeah.
second one comes out and it's a different type of change, right? This one looks up at you and kind of says, hey, you mind if I show you what you look like?
Okay.
And that's Anna Louise, and she does all my writing and all my editing. And people think I do my writing. She writes for me. She's my voice. I mean, she speaks my voice, and she's a better writer than I could ever be. And although I'm a creator, right? A writer.
Yeah.
But so then she comes out. Then the third one comes out. She's my teacher.
How
Andy.
so?
She taught me life.
Okay.
She taught me death. And then the baby comes out, Monique, and she comes out and she says, okay, let's try to make this all normal again. And imagine the first time you see your child, the child comes out and it's about that big. It literally fits you in your hand,
Yeah.
right? That was Andy. 2
Yeah.
pounds, 9 ounces.
Oh, wow.
And she wasn't breathing. So when she came out, they rushed her out of the ring. So I rushed out of the room. And when I followed him in, then they're both around her at the table. And they said, sir, you have to leave. I said, get out and breathe. Don't look at me. And so they made me leave. And I didn't get to see my baby. And I don't know the time frame. Might have been 2 days, might have been 3 days, might have been 2 hours. Blur.
Hmm.
But imagine the first time you get to touch your baby. They walk you in to this room and they put this blue suit on you. You got gloves on. And there she is in this box. You walk up to the box, and the first time you touch your baby, you get to slide your arms in tubes. And you say, I got you. I got you. I got you. Whatever it takes. I'm here. And for the next 7 years, it was whatever it took.
Hmm.
And in the process, I destroyed everything around me to save her life. When you lose everything, you say, okay, if it was all my fault, what could I learn? Well, I went through that whole journey, right? You see, when life drags you through the deepest, darkest bowels of hell and you lose everything, children get kidnapped, your wife says, My life sucks and it's your fault. And you go through hell. And at the end of this dark, deep, muddy, bloody, come out on the other end and you go, I'm still here with nothing. Most people think that's where growth happens. That's not where growth happens. Growth happens when you come out from the abyss and you turn back around to the hole and you climb back in and you go looking. And you go get that mud all over you. And you go look behind the things that you didn't encounter. And you slow down time and you get angry and I hate you. And you cuss and you scream and you holler and the depths of your sadness have no measure. And then you come out. Now you see light. Now you see depth. Now you're at peace with everything. Because in the whole scheme of things, we're nothing. We are nothing. We are a drop of water in the ocean. That's it. So I'm nothing special. I'm nothing fancy. All I am is a sweet human who has the ability to whatever tragedy you're facing in this moment, everything gonna be all right. I promise you. And you don't know how I know, but your heart knows. He knows. And so I have a perspective of life that you can't learn. You can't go to school and get. So I can't ever fail. I can't ever lose. Because I'm going to be just fine. In the whole scheme of things, nothing's really important except those children of mine and the people close to me and the people I love. And they are what's important. All the superficial, you're so good. People tell me I changed their life. I haven't changed their life. I might have asked a question. I might have did a seminar. I might have did a coaching session. They changed their life. My dad always said, my children are good, but that ain't my fault. If Damian robs a bank, I don't get credit for robbing the bank. So if he does really good and builds a bank, that ain't my fault either. He built the bank, he robbed the bank, that's on his. Whatever his problem is, he owns. And so in life, you're responsible for you. All I can do is love you and see you, right? And that's what I do, truly. What I do is very simple. Somebody put it into perspective. Well, Roger Love and I were talking about this.
Okay.
Because he does the same thing with voice, right? That I do with humans, right? When you look in the mirror of who you are, you see your reflection with flaws and blemishes and sins and events and traumas and resentment and regret, doubt and whatever else from your past. I don't. I see you clean. I see you at your best in your connection with Source. And now my job is to ask you questions to get you to go, isn't it all possible that maybe that's not that important? And as soon as you can let go of that event that happened when you were 14, you have more peace to be the 30-year-old. Because the rules you set up at 15 were important. They saved your life at 15. But keeping them at 30 is just holding you back. So I'm simply a reflection of your best self. My job is to just be clean so I can help you see that reflection without the tarnish.
You went through your journey that took you through the pit, through the abyss, and you could turn back and look, and you went through that experience to see what it was. And that's where you say growth happens. I believe that everybody's going to have to go through the abyss some way, shape, or form. That's what I think. Do you believe that, or do you see it differently?
Well, they're all abysses. They're all curses. They're blessings in all of them.
What
I
are
used to go to
what?
a Buddhist.
Describe the abyss. What is the abyss?
That's hell. That is my daughter describes hell as hell is here. Heaven is here too.
Mm.
Now, she's Catholic, right? And so she believes in God and heaven and all that.
Okay.
But on this journey, we experience levels of heaven and hell and purgatory and wherever it is. Now, how you respond to that and how you view that is your translation of it, right? But can you survive it? Yes. You are not fragile. The human spirit is not fragile. It is powerful beyond belief. It is crazy. If you don't believe me, go to India. Go to India. Just get off the plane and take a smell and then walk away. Right? Go to India and work with orphans. Go to India or Africa or Indonesia or Malaysia or Cambodia or Myanmar. All these places I've been where they have rot, where they have no quality of life. But the kids who are in orphanages are the richest people in the world. They're hungry to learn. They're starving to get better. They want to be impressive, right? But they don't realize their world sucks. So it doesn't. It's just where they are. And they want more. They want more. They're hungry. They want to learn. Uncle, look, I read a book. Uncle. Let me read you the book.
Well, then why does that get
spirit is
beaten out of
not
us?
fragile. This whole garbage, if you let it. The media's job is to sell you how bad life is so you can succumb to the defeat of it. Right? You don't have to buy the press. They lie. They lie to you all the time to whip you into friend. There's no greater way than to control you and to tell you there's a disease out there and you have to wipe your grocery bags down because everybody's going to die. And so everybody wipes their grocery bags down. And we have to recognize that they are powerful when you are afraid. So why are you afraid? What are you afraid of? I was with my daughter at this time. She was afraid, right? I'm ready to go. I'll go right now. I'm fine. I went there to catch COVID with my grandchildren because they got exposed at the very beginning. And she said, well, you can't come. You might get it. I'm coming. I'm coming to get COVID with my grandkids. I don't know what that means. We'll die together. I'm not afraid of COVID. I'm not afraid of death. I embrace it. It's the journey. Everybody's born there. The timing, not my choice. How I live, my choice.
Yeah.
My cousin is a priest, and he does funerals. And he says something in the funeral. He says, there's 2 dates you control, right? And 2 dates that are responsible. When you look at a gravestone, the first date on there is the day you were born. The second date on there is the date you were dead. The only thing you had power over is the dash in between them. Pay attention to the dash in between them. And that's how insignificant you are. You're just a dash. So don't think you're all important. Just live in the dash. Be valuable every moment in the dash. What are you doing to make a difference in that little bitty dash right there on your gravestone, if that's what you have, right? That's simplistic. I'm not afraid. I'm good to go.
Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this episode, please subscribe, follow, and download our episode. Your support allows us to bring more intentional guests just like this, and it means the world to us. Now, let's get back to the episode. See, some might say that you're overly simplistic. How does someone learn to be more like you?
Lose it all.
Lose everything.
Yeah, here's the moment. Here's the moment. My children are taken from me. I'm in an apartment in Houston, Texas. My lights are out. My electricity is turned off. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to my children. The divorce is not final. The world is unbelievably unbalanced. Andy is still alive. And my electricity's on. And I'm laying in a bathtub with a little tea light on the toilet at the end. And I'm crying. I'm bawling. Just there. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. And I'm screaming, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. Hitting the bathtub. Bruised. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. But a Cajun in a bathtub naked. This is all you are. This better be enough. This all you got. You better be enough. You're a dad. Be the dad. Whatever else is important is not. This is all you are. And at that moment in time, everything was important. First of all, it became nothing. Second of all, I'm a dad. In
So
February, I don't remember the year. Horrifying, horrible moments of that journey. The number of times I dropped my kids off at their mom's house and I would bawl driving down the street, crying, being cheated out of my parenthood, having to pull over because I couldn't see through my eyes. All of that puts you in a position where you go, everything gonna be all right. It might suck now, but there's power in that place where it sucks now. Because I can serve now. I can see now. I can help now. I can love now. And they know it. They know there's something that I got that they can lean on, that they can safely sleep on.
yeah.
Because it's really there spiritually.
Now, Boudreaux, you took the path of letting that hell mend you into the man that you have become that I've experienced. I've known you post this event, like
Yeah.
this scenario in your life. And the way you are with me has me experience you as just amazing and
Yeah.
important
Yes.
and mattering. And
Wow.
do you think that sometimes we grasp hold too hard on the negative or the downfall that it turns us harder? Or do you feel like there's always a mending point for everybody?
I don't think there's always anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think people choose. I had no choice, right? I have to at some point be the
You
dad.
had you had a choice. You had a choice to be bitter the rest of your life. You had a choice and
There's a
you
part
didn't
of me
choose
that was
that.
bitter for a long time.
Yeah.
There are
You
parts of
said
me that will still heal. There are
yeah.
times when my brother was in the hospital recently where I really relived moments that I had abandoned
Hmm.
from hospital. When I was the caregiver for my dad,
Yeah.
there was moments when Andrea's dad showed back up and I wanted to destroy the whole wing of the whole wing of the hospital.
Yeah.
That guy was mean. He was mean. Because I got you. Get behind me, little girl. Daddy got you. And I destroyed everything in the way because I had no skills.
Hmm.
Then when dad got in the hospital during COVID, it was going through all this stuff, right? And they weren't taking care of him. I had skills. I went to the best Italian restaurant. I brought 4 platters of lasagna and spaghetti and salad and everything to the nurse's station. I said, this is from my dad. He wants y'all to eat good. They never passed by his room again when that thing was beeping without saying hi to Mr. Robert. He was a celebrity after that. I fed everybody. I made
Yeah.
sure everybody was appreciated. I learned a lot. But I remember moments where I was going, ooh, I remember that guy. So yes, you never really heal. This process, there will be things that show up in my life where I have to go, you need to look in the mirror again, boy. You thought you got past that. This journey is beautiful because you never get past everything and you
Yeah.
have new things to learn and figure out and embrace, right?
I think that there are things that mold us, that break us, bend us, shape us
Oh, yeah.
into what we are. And I think that healing is possible, but not without a significant amount of work, depending on the traumatizing experience or the lack thereof. If it's a simple experience to overcome, that's overcomable. But there are things that I'm with you that there are things that shaped my life. Like I'll speak personally, things that shape my life that continually are things that shape my life. and there's a way to overcome it, but not without significant amount of work.
Yeah, well, change is a crazy word. You know, you've been going to seminars a while and you've been watching people go to the seminar and they don't change anything, but at least they buy the next program to hope we're doing it right. And so there's levels of change. Right? There's the I want to change, right? And
Hmm.
then there's the all of a sudden I screwed up and accidentally changed. And then there's I choose to change and do the work to change, right? And then there's the one that I had, which was the easiest one of all, which is you were forced.
Yeah.
And
I still think
saying,
there's I still think there's power in the fact that you did change because
I had no
I know that you
choice.
say you're forced, but either you could have hardened your heart, you could have stayed where you were and made it all the more dark of a place. And you did choose, you did use your God given abilities to change at least something.
Look, my children help me a lot, but I can tell you, they'll tell you that there are still things I'm hardened about, right?
Sure. Sure.
There's still parts of me that go, yeah, I'm good. I'm out, right? The whole relationship thing, right? I'm single, right? I've had a few relationships that were magical, right? But as a rule, I'm safe alone. I know the level of commitment I give. I know it's not matched. And I'm just be in a relationship with the world. If somebody comes along, I'll try, right? But I ain't hunting,
Yeah.
right? It's easier to serve everyone than it is to find one. And if
Hmm.
one shows up, good. And I would believe that is in large part due to my past, the abandonment,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
betrayal, the lack of stick to it. So that carries with me. And I could choose to, if I was forced to change that, I would change it. I'm not forced to change it.
Yeah.
I'm practically perfect in every way, just like Mary Poppins. I'm happy being alone. There are times when I'm lonely,
Sure.
and I have to manage the deviancies that might show up with that so that I stay clean, right? But the
Yeah.
truth is that is a moment in time. But there's married people that are a lot lonelier than me for more often than me in on this journey that I've talked to, right? And
Yeah.
that's sadder than being single and lonely, for sure.
Yeah. I agree with that statement. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Well,
what I
tell me a little
don't
more
want?
about. Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead. No, go ahead.
What I don't think is a good idea is what we do in this planet when it comes to putting people on pedestals. And but my partner in this is a guy who, when I met him, he was selling 25 or 30 cars a month, right? And then through coaching him, he's at 200 cars a month right now, right? And we work together a lot. We were on the phone yesterday, a couple of weeks ago. We were on the phone for about 2.5 hours. I'm fly up to Detroit in probably 3 weeks where we'll be in a conference room with a blackboard on the walls. And we'll probably spend 6 hours redoing his business, right? Rethinking his business, trying to get him to
Yeah.
400 cars a month. And the whole thing I've told him from the beginning, as soon as somebody puts us on a pedestal, it puts them in a position where they're looking up at us and they perceive us looking down on them. You see it in a speaker's world where they put these speakers up and they're still humans, right? And then when their humanity shows up, people are devastated by it, right? They're devastated by it, but they're human, right? They make mistakes. So we tell people all the time, nothing special. I've had a longer journey than you. I've had different roads than you. I've made different choices than you. You'll have your choices, but do not put me on a pedestal. Do not look up at me. I will not look down on you. We are no better, no worse than each other. On this journey, we're fellow earthlings. In the quantum world, we're 99% energy and 1% particle. And the goal is vibrate your frequency at the level that it does at its cleanest, purest, most beautiful, and spectacular color. And stay in that zone. Don't be nothing fancy. Don't try to be something spectacular. Don't try to be something for somebody else. Just be your spirit. And when you show up at your best in your spirit with your intentionality of this is where I'm going and why, and this is the spirit I use to get there, life changes forever. Right?
Yeah. There's power in that choosing And I'm not going to necessarily go down the path of goals, but definitely like choosing this is what I'm up to and choosing to show up as my best self. Right? There's significant power in that. And yet I don't know that it's everybody attains that. And I don't think that you need to attain that 100% of every day. But I think that if there is intention and thought put into the way we are and the way we're showing up, that it can alter the future in the path that we want it to, right? I want to show up this way. I want to be this type of a person. I want to be able to be the one like Boudreaux that takes care of everybody, right? Or that truly shows love to everybody around you. That's how I experience you. You can make choices in your life that would have you show up more like Damian Boudreaux, right? Like that there are
Yeah.
ways to do that. But you want it to be authentic naturally, and there's still intent behind it. There's still, I want to be like that. There's people in my life that I think I really want to be like that person. Then I might want to start doing some things like they do, or thinking the way they think, or some type of modeling of what they're doing to
Yeah.
allow it to be possible.
Yeah. So thousands of years ago, there was this thing that was created called the manifestation formula.
Okay.
And I'll do it backwards because this is the way most people do it. And this is the way most people teach it. Here's what you want to have. You want to make $100,000 a year? Well, this is what you have to do to get to that number. And this is the marketing, and this is the sales, and this is the product, and this is the people, and this is all that, right? And all of a sudden they start doing that and it doesn't fit because they've reversed the manifestation formula. Begins with intentionality. It begins with see, then be, then do so that you can have, right? The
Hmm.
having is the afterthought, right? The seeing is the vision. The where are you going and why? That's what you're focused on with intentionality. This is my why, to serve others. Simple, easy to love. That's what I
Hmm.
do. I see you at your best. My job in life, my flow in life is very simple. It's driven from that. What happens around that, I don't care.
Hmm.
So my vision, my seeing in the next 60 days, the next year, the next 5 years, the next 12 years, whatever it is for you, right? Your vision board, right? Whatever it is. That's the first step of the manifestation formula, is to see with no obstacles, as if you couldn't fail.
Yeah.
The second part of the manifestation formula is what I teach in my children's program, right? And that is be. Who are you at your best? Not I am dumb, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm poor, I'm broke, I'm pitiful, nobody likes me, my dad hates me, I can't run fast, all the things that we put on ourselves and we negatively label ourselves. No,
Hmm.
you are in connection to your source of one, right? Whatever flavor God you have. You were bestowed that before you came out of the tube, right? And all of a sudden you were given these gifts. We think the gifts live on the extrinsic, but they don't. They live on the intrinsic. I am thoughtful. I am caring. I'm loving. I'm interesting. I'm peaceful. I'm harmonious. I'm tranquil. I'm lucky. I'm giving. I'm gentle. All these things are me in my essence. So when my essence shows up aligned with the vision, now I decide, so what do I do? Well, I have to do things in a way that aligns with my being and my seeing. I'm an introvert. I don't go out there and put myself out in a big way socially because it's not my nature. My nature is to come in and heal, right?
True.
I'm an empath. I feel when you would see me in the front of that room,
Yeah.
I'm feeling energies. That's the dirty little secret that Denise didn't tell a lot of people, that Jenny didn't tell a lot of people. When he feels something, it's right. You can argue with him or say, why do you think that? I don't know. My biggest issue with the speaker was not empathic,
Hmm.
totally logical. So didn't live in the world of trust your intuition, trust your spirit, trust the energies of the flow around you, because I'm right. Now I can't prove it, but invariably there's something about me that feels energy and knows where it's at. I can read minds, souls, if you will,
Yeah.
because my empath ability is so incredible, probably due to my journey, right? Having to feel, right? The
Yeah.
introvert in me says, go dark. shut down, get well, get healed. That limits my social abilities to market myself and put myself out there. So my business plan is to be simple, do what I can in a way that is impactful. I don't want to catch all the rain like every other influencer out there. I just want to catch a little. I'll just hold my hand like that, and that'll be plenty. It'll fill up what I need. I'm abundant to the mega degree of nebulous. I don't try. I'm not trying to do things. I'm not working hard ever. I'm a magnet. I don't go get. I wait for it. And it comes to me. If that's because I know my vision, I know my being, and then I do what is in alignment with my spirit, right? Which is this, right? Speaking to you, it's just an alignment with my spirit. And because of that, I get to have. And the having is just lagniappe. It's just extra, right? It's just gravy. But it's not the goal because I'm abundant enough.
What fascinates about this principle to me is that it truly is being as we are becoming, as we become, as we be what matters in life. Like those little simple statements you said, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm smart. It, like as you live into who you are being, comparing that to your vision of what you're after, what you want, then the doing shows up naturally. It is, I think that it's fascinating. There's so many people that we do the doing because someone told us that this is how to do it. And so we do the doing and we don't get the same results like you already said. And it's because of the lack of being. Like how we're being and how we enter a room and how we show up in every instance in our life. Like it happens every second.
Yeah.
We're not always aware. We're not going to be aware of it 100% of the time, but it is happening every second. And if we're aware of it more than we're not aware of it, that's when the doing is super easy.
Yeah, because you're just in the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get there? Teach us, how do you get to the flow if you're unsure? Someone's listening to us right now talking about this conversation. I find it fascinating. But what if they're like, okay, you talked about being, doing, but I don't know. How am I supposed to be? How do they get there?
Well, you have to be honest with yourself, right? And so many people are dishonest with themselves, right? And so visions of themselves are, how do people see me? How do I want people to see me? What do I have to do to get them to see me a certain way? What is my image that I want to put out there, right? None
And
of
that's all
valuable.
garbage. That's all garbage.
None of that's valuable, right?
Yeah.
What's valuable is, who are you at your best? And how do you see yourself? And when you're out of alignment with your godly self, we'll use the Bible, right? The Bible says God created you in his image, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's talking straight, or it was a lie.
He's talking straight.
Yeah. So what does that mean? What is that image? Simplify it. Nobody simplifies what the image of God is. Is it that he has a beard? Is it he's Middle Eastern? What is it about God image? And hold on one second. I just noticed that my plug wasn't in and I'm about to be dead.
Okay.
What is it that describes God's image? And so if you were, go ahead.
Well, I've got answers, but I'm interested in, everybody ought to have their own. I don't want to dictate that out, but I'm happy to.
I am are the two most powerful words in the English language. They are your connection to God. In this moment, I could say, I am dumb, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm poor, I'm broke, and when you knew me, I was a lot fatter, right? I was 250 pounds, right? I was big, right? I could say all those things. But the truth of the matter is, if that's my prayer, that's my answer. I will be broke. I will be dumb. I will be all of those things that I wish for. I am thoughtful. I am caring. I am loving. I am peaceful. I am harmonious. I am tranquil. I am flowing. I'm giggly. I'm silly. I'm playful. I am abundant. I am that and more are my characteristics. God's image. The gifts that they get, the way I describe it is this. I tell this story at hospital. Imagine that before you came here, you were just this little blob of light.
Okay.
waiting up in the waiting room to be shot out of somebody's tube,
Okay.
right? The little tube with the bag, and you're coming right out of that's the journey, right? But you weren't there yet. The spirit of you, that was still up there, right? And there's this waiting room, and you and I are sitting there. These two, where are you going? I don't know where I'm going. I don't even know why I'm in this room. What are you doing? I don't know why I'm going in there. I don't even know what I need. I don't even have the orders. I don't have nothing, right? And they're all doing that. And all of a sudden, this entity walks in, this spirit walks in with some command, with some certainty. They look like they're in charge. And they come in and says, "Oh, it's you. Okay, I'm glad you hadn't left yet. Wait, don't you left. Cannot leave. I have something I have to give you. This is everything you're going to need." And he takes out a little box and he opens up the box. There's light, like a diamond. Light flows out of it. And he says, "Everything you need is right here, Bryan." And he goes to hand it to you. And you hold your hand out. And what do? Hold your hand out, Bryan. Hold your hand out. And he puts it in your hand and he says, "Put it somewhere safe." Where do you put it?
Right here.
Right in your heart. And then push, you go out the tube. And then on the other side of the tube, you come out and you go, "Holy, what's going on?" Slap you on the ass. And the next thing you know, they got all the, "Oh, look how cute he is, man. That's a cute baby." And grandma comes, and then you find out where you live, and all of a sudden you start discovering who you are is where you live, how you run, how smart you are, how much does mama feed you, how clean is your house, what school do you go to, who's your boyfriend, how high do you jump, how big your boobs are, what kind of car you drive in high school, what did you accomplish, are you going to college, with college, or you got a job, what kind of car do you drive? And so you start judging yourself by all the things that society says, here's what you need. And you never looked in the box again. You put it right here. I am loving. I am caring. I am thoughtful. I am beautiful. I am sweet. I am kind. I am transformational. I am inspirational. I am peaceful. All those things were given to me before I got here. We just never have been taught to use it or encouraged to use it. We're taught that word tracks are important. That word tracks are responsive. They're not understandings. And so we use life as a tool to get what we want, as if what we're chasing is valuable. When everything you need that's valuable,
And what's valuable is what we
you
already
already
have.
possess. And so how do you get in the flow? You accept who you are. You surrender that whatever happens is divine. You be grateful for tiny, little, bitty things that appear meaningless to the naked eye, but are big in the scheme of things. You see the good in others, and you let life flow with no effort. I came up with something years ago, and I said, I am the leaf, right? This was one of the things. I said, I'm the leaf. I said, what does that mean? It says, imagine there's an oak tree, right, next to the bayou, right? And the bayou and the oak tree and the creek or the river or whatever flavor you have, right? The leaf falls down off the tree, and it lands in the water. And then the water takes the leaf, then all of a sudden it goes and it gets eddies behind a branch. And then all of a sudden, the water rises and it goes all the way down. Next thing, the water dries up and it sits on the ground. Wherever the leaf is perfect, the leaf is not trying to get to the other side so that it doesn't get caught behind the tree. The leaf accepts where it's at. And where it's at is perfect. And I used to say, I am the leaf. But I'm not the leaf. I'm everything. I'm the leaf, I am the wind, I am the water, I am the tree, I am the rock, I am the dirt. I'm just everything. Therefore, it's all going to be perfect. It's all going to work out just fine. Just be. And trust. You got to work. You got to put in effort. You got to be worth listening to. You got to be worth people reaching out to you. And that's by effort, right? That's by effort.
Mhm.
but I'm just a leaf. So that's how you float.
I love it. I think that the analogy is interesting. That gives us some perspective. And I think that I like that you said that it's not just about sitting back and being, but there is effort, right? And the effort doesn't make the leaf different. The effort makes the leaf recognize who the leaf is or what part the leaf has to play.
And during the Magical Misery Tour, my leaf got its handed to it. And Andy was still going to die. And my children were still going to suffer. And my ex was still going to hate me. And everything was going to be just fine. It just wasn't fine in that moment.
Yeah.
But if you just relax, it all balances out. And so that's how you flow. Trust
Yeah.
that the universe is going to do it. And yeah, there's sometimes a life that's is hell. And I get to work with a lot of people whose life will never be the same because they fell off a horse and they'll never walk again. Or one of their children died in a car wreck that they were driving the car, right? Dealing with that right now,
Yeah.
right?
So then, Damien, how I would maybe summarize, and I'm interested to know how you'd summarize our conversation. For me, the job in us being and becoming is to accept what is, to put an effort, but more so to be those characteristics, to be loving, to be useful, to be of service, whatever it is we see. And as we
Mhm.
be those things, then the
Yeah.
doing will take care of itself. And we'll be able to accomplish the things that matter most, as opposed to the things that society tells us that matter most.
You have to decide what's important, what's valuable, and what you're
Mhm.
going to buy. Right. They're selling a product. They're selling a product that this disease is going to kill you. They're selling a product that Trump is the worst person in the world. That they're selling a product that Joe Biden is only in screen, but when he's not, he's drooling. Right. They're selling you a product that says that Iran is going to blow up Israel. They're selling you a product that Ukraine is the most important thing in the world. And they are the epitome of what democracy looks like. And we have to save them from the evil dictator. They're selling you none of it's valuable. None of it's important. It's stuff that they deem to be valuable, important. It's not going to change. Look, in my first book, Keep It Simple Selling, I wrote, if you kneel down behind a donkey, Democrat, elephant, Republican, the only guarantee you have is that you're going to get on by an animal. Choose what's one. But they're not there for you. They've never made a difference in your life. They've never, look, I got African Americans in my family, right? Cajuns aren't exactly clean when it comes to life, right? We're kind of black and we got some Indian in us and we got some other things in us, right? The truth is they ain't never done nothing for them either. The school system suck. So they ain't never gonna do nothing for you. Why are y'all kissing their ass? Why are you buying their product? Just doesn't matter. You got to take care of the square foot you're standing in and the circle of community that you have influence on. Just catch a little rain. And that'll change the world for everybody else.
I love it. Boudreaux, thank you for spending time sharing your insights, your story, the struggle, and where you are now because of it. I love and appreciate our relationship, our friendship, and appreciate you being here with us today.
Thanks for having me, buddy. I love you very much.
I love you too.
Take care.
Thank you for joining us on The Intentional Way. I'm Bryan Hatch, and it's been a true privilege to share this time with you. If today's episode has inspired you in any way, shape, or form, please subscribe, follow, and download our episodes. Your support not only helps us grow, it also enables us to bring more insightful conversations and exceptional guests right to you. Living intentionally begins with a single step, yours. So let's make the most of it. Until next time, seek intention by being completely present.